Hello and welcome to the Three Geeks podcast. My name is Jason, joined by Rondell, Philip, Mike, and Max, here to discuss some news topics, some Marvel movies, a bunch of fun stuff. The new TV season is upon us. There's some pretty good stuff out there, and there's some junk out there. I think between all of us, we've seen a few things, so we will discuss some of the new pilots and some of the returning shows. And yeah, definitely go check out our buddy Mike's YouTube page, youtube.com/Mike McGTV. And I would like Mike to just take a few seconds to discuss his remake pilot that he has up on his channel, because as somebody who's a friend of Mike's, you can take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, but I highly recommend listening to this because I thought it was really well done and really well edited. And I enjoyed listening to it as much as I would something like Screen Junkies movie fights or some of the more known podcast channels. So definitely check it out if you got an hour. It's a good listen. But Mike, tell people a little bit about it.
I think you pretty much covered it. But yeah, what it is that I'm trying to just get a little bit of a movie discussion roundtable going, maybe once a month, with someone from the Three Geeks camp and also hopefully someone from Never Ending Radical Dude. But the idea is we take a franchise or property that either has been done or we would like to see get the cinematic treatment and kind of go through just a couple of the major things, like what would be the focus of this remake or reboot, what would be the creative team kind of helming it, who would be our picks for certain roles, and how would we go about actually marketing something like this? What would kind of the way we promote such a property, what would be involved in that, which actually was the most fun for me to listen to when I had Max and Dan on the podcast for the pilot run. We did Spawn, and coincidence enough, a couple of weeks later, Todd McFarlane's back talking about a Spawn reboot. So part of me likes to think that he listened to the episode and was like, you know what, I should bring that back. So hopefully we'll get a Never Ending Radical Dude episode out there in October, and then maybe the following month we'll start crossing over with the two camps and getting the input from each camp equally. So yeah, check that out, definitely.
Yeah, Mike. If John Goodman gets cast, then we'll know.
Yeah, that'll be the biggest red flag. And Danny DeVito as the Penguin, or the Penguin, the clown.
But I want to also shout out our buddies over at NeverEndingRadicalDude.com. They just released their first episode of Pokemon Go Go Go, and if you haven't seen it, definitely check that out. And they have this new show called Nerd 30. The premise of the show is they have a minute to argue a topic, but during that minute, they have to chug a beer, and if they lose, they get a pie in the face. Like if they don't chug the beer, it's a lot of fun to listen to them debate and try to chug the beers. Highly recommend going to check out those guys. And I also want to shout out Arc Matter. He mentions our show on all of his podcasts. We appreciate the shout out and the views that extend from that. So thanks a lot, Domo Batman. And let's get into our show a little bit. Guys, TV season's upon us. Philip, have you seen anything fun this week?
Yes, I got to watch American Horror Story, the latest season, Roanoke, which actually I thought was pretty good. I felt the first episode was a little short, but otherwise, I think it was a good intro. I think it was a really different way to tell a show. I'm kind of curious who else has seen it. I know you have, Jason, to see if anyone's seen kind of the way they've decided to tell it, which is almost like a sort of documentary. It's kind of like the reality television that they have, except imagine they actually have good actors to, rather do the dramatization. So that was kind of cool. And then I really am liking S.H.I.E.L.D., and I think it got better.
Yeah, I really liked Horror Story too, and I was not a fan of Freak Show, so I sat out Hotel, and then something about this season, just the ambiguity and all of the trailers that they released, not kind of letting you know what the season was going to be about. And I've heard interviews with the creators saying that we may not still know exactly what the season is about. Like what we're watching right now may not actually be what the overall theme of the show is. But like I like the storytelling method that they're going for with this, where they have the actors playing the quote unquote real people, telling the story why it's being reenacted. I love the addition of Cuba Gooding Jr. to this cast, and I think it was really strong. And it may be because I'm coming off such a bad season that I have such high admiration for this year, but it felt a lot like I was watching the first couple seasons of American Horror Story, and that's where I thought the show was its strongest. And I hope it stays contained and doesn't get too out there, because you know the haunted house in the first one was pretty much contained to that haunted house. The asylum was pretty much contained to the asylum, and then the later seasons they started to expand and do a lot more outside of just like one set location. And it looks like that they're doing that with this, and I have big hopes for this. But Mike, you watch anything fun this week at all?
About the only thing I caught up on, I missed the actual premiere of it, but I caught up with it online later, was what Phil mentioned was the season 4 of S.H.I.E.L.D. And yeah, I'll admit it looks like it's a step in a better direction for that show. Probably having it on a little bit later helps too, because it feels like it's going for something a little bit darker, and especially when you got a character like Ghost Rider being introduced, which I feel they actually used to good effect in the premiere. It wasn't too much, but also it wasn't like too little. It felt just about right for the debut of the character. And it is the Robbie Reyes version, so no Nicolas Cage, Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. That would have been cool, but again, it for what it is, it's okay. It might be a little too late, I feel, to kind of win back a lot of the viewers, especially since a lot of them maybe have moved on from the show. But if this will be their maybe last season, who knows? If the ratings stay consistent, they might get this is their last one. Just go all out for it, which seems like the angle they're going for. The one thing I will say was kind of annoying is Ghost Rider has a habit for flipping his car keys in his hand. And I mentioned this on Twitter. It's like that's going to be his thing, I know, throughout this season. He's going to be that guy in the shadows flipping car keys. And I'm just going to get kind of annoyed by that. But that's about it.
Max?
Senor Max?
The Blair Witch got him.
Sorry, I'm still here.
All right.
Hey, no, I haven't watched anything new. But I'm waiting on Luke Cage to drop. So we'll see.
5 days.
Yeah, we'll see. After that, I have been the new set of Magic the Gathering drop, so I've just been doing that all weekend.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. As everybody knows, I'm not a big fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I haven't been for a long time, but something told me to watch this. I thought the Ghost Rider trailers were pretty strong, and I cannot wait for the next episode. Like, I am in. I'm 100% in. The first time that I saw, like, real blood on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the first sequence with the Ghost Rider, I believe, and I was like, wow, they're really trying to bridge that gap between what they used to do and kind of what Netflix was doing. And you know, there are some reviews that are kind of gotten out of hand for this show, kind of comparing this episode to Netflix. Slow down. Like, there's still a long way to go. But I thought it was a really strong episode, and I know a lot of people that have the same sentiments of me about the rest of the previous episodes are really on board for this and very excited to see kind of where they're taking this. So I have high hopes, strong hopes. I cannot wait. Rondell, anything?
I haven't watched anything. I'll try and get around to watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but only thing else that I thought about watching is the Designated Survivor.
Yeah,
but I haven't watched it yet. I recorded it.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that too. But I watched a few shows. The Good Place I thought was really, really fun. If you like Arrested Development, Kimmy Schmidt, or Last Man on Earth, kind of quirky comedy, then this show is right up your alley. It's about a not-so-great person who gets sent to the quote-unquote good place, and all of these weird things start happening now that she's there because she shouldn't be there. So it's really funny. It's got Kristen Bell and Ted Danson in it. Highly recommend checking out the pilot episode. There's a show called Pitch about the first female pitcher in the Major League Baseball. That was really, really, really good. Highly recommend that. And yeah, I'm still watching some new stuff. I got Exorcist to watch this week, so I will
let's check that
stay
out.
on it. We'll see how the Exorcist turns out. We do have a live chat now with this YouTube feed. So if you are watching us live, jump on the live chat and let us know what's up. I am chatting back with you. I've got both windows up. It's a lot of fun. You'll notice in the background I've added my man Jean-Claude Van Damme. That is because we are starting a Jean-Claude Van Damme podcast on this very YouTube channel, thanks to Max's recommendation and Dan's recommendation. I am going to do it. I've got Mike to agree to review No Retreat, No Surrender. This quality flick right here brought Jean-Claude Van Damme into our lives. And we will go all the way up to Kickboxer Retribution, I think is what it's called, and all of the crap in between. I cannot wait to do this. We have a tentative title called Van Damme Nation. It needs some work, but the original title, Van Damme It, because I didn't think anybody else in this world would have a Jean-Claude Van Damme podcast, but as a fact, they do, and it's called Van Damme It. So,
what's wrong with Damnation?
Dude, there's a podcast for literally anybody. I was just followed by a podcast called Tom Hanks Giving. It's literally a podcast dedicated to Tom Hanks movies.
Wow,
so it's
that's
like,
awesome.
yeah.
What's wrong with Damnation, Jason?
Damnation is okay, Max, but you came at me with this winning title called Van Damme It. That was the whole reason I started molding this podcast together.
Excuse me, sir. I came at you with 2 winning titles. One of them was fucking Damnation.
No, you came up with that after we found out Van Damme It wasn't available. So
Yeah,
Damnation, by definition, was your second choice. And then after we do Jean-Claude Van Damme, we should do Jonathan Brandis movies.
Wow.
No.
That'll be all of 10 episodes, so okay.
Yeah. But no. It's a never-ending story ever again.
Van Damme Nation will start probably sometime not this coming week, but the following week. We'll get
now Max, it's only Never-Ending Story Part 2. It's not the Never-Ending Story.
I don't want to watch any of them ever again.
You didn't like the Never-Ending Story, dude?
No, dude. Like, if you go back and watch a Never-Ending Story, it's fucking terrible.
I have not seen any of them, to be honest.
I haven't seen it as an adult.
Don't waste your time.
I've seen something that you have.
Yeah, wow. Rondell's seen Never-Ending Story too. Rondell, take a few seconds to tell the people all about it.
But not still. Part 2. I've seen the first one.
Yeah, and it's fucking Garbo, right?
No, it's classic, man.
Rock Biter, man.
Yeah,
yes.
Your fantasy team sucks.
What? But you didn't get upset when the horse died?
Nah, dude. I celebrate every death in the Never-Ending Story.
So then you must cry at the end.
When people live,
Yes.
yeah, it makes me extremely sad.
To be fair, Max cries when people live in real life too, but that's another story.
Yeah, no. The only thing that makes me cry more than the Never-Ending Story, like everyone in the Never-Ending Story living, is my fantasy team.
I could get that, Max, especially since you're losing to somebody who doesn't know anything about football.
I mean, dude,
it dropped everyone and picked up new players and had a better score than you did this week.
That's the truth. I should have like just played the waiver. Yeah. Anyway, it's fucking a My fantasy team is a fucking Shakespearean Greek tragedy.
I don't know if it's quite that epic.
I think so, sir.
As much as I would have loved to see Aaron Paul in this role, it looks like Bill Hader will be playing Alpha 5 in the new Power Rangers film. And I have, in recent time, become a huge Bill Hader fan. I really liked him in Trainwreck. I recently rewatched Superbad, and the guy is really funny. Pop star, never stopping. He was awesome as the flatlining roadie for the group. So I'm excited. I mean, I don't know how much he's going to do because, he's a robot, but apparently he's going to corner the market in robots. But Max, your thoughts on this news?
I really like Bill Hader. I think pairing him up with Bryan Cranston as the giant face is going to be pretty awesome. I'm excited to see where those two guys go. I mean, Bryan Cranston obviously has pretty great comedic timing. You can tell from Malcolm in the Middle. He can also, obviously play very dramatic roles. You can tell from Breaking Bad. So, that, if Bill Hader gets a little crazy, if they want to do some jokey stuff with Alpha 5, that everyone involved has got the chops to hang along with that and possibly make it work. So, I'm not expecting a whole bunch out of Power Rangers, but they're putting a lot of the right pieces in place to make it a good movie.
Yeah, for sure. Mike?
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, fine, I guess. Like this is probably one of the movies I'm not really woo for because I was never a Power Rangers person. But sure, if you get someone like Bill Hader to voice one of your characters, cool, go for it. If he does it as the president of Hollywood, I'll be even more in. Because I remember the robot was kind of annoying in the original show from what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
So just have him play the Power Rangers. You got to go defeat Rita, so says the big giant head.
Philip?
Oh my. Yeah, I think I have no idea where in the hell they're going with this. Because at first I was like with Cranston, I'm like, oh, they're going serious. And I'm like, now they're going full on Hater. I was like, wow, okay. So they're going to embrace the cheesiness? I don't know. I am more intrigued now than I probably was just because I'm curious as to what in the hell they're making. I'm curious what's going to come out if it's, I don't know. I just can't see a studio buying into the full cheese and going, sure, we're going to dump some money at you. Let's see what happens. So
I think they're going to try to embrace a little bit of the fun side because they also released some character posters, I think. And it's like them just hanging out on their robots. And the only tagline on the posters is "Go Go." I think they're going to embrace some of the fun of it.
It'll be interesting.
Your thoughts of Mr. Hader joining Power Rangers?
It's Power Rangers, so honestly, I have no interest whatsoever. Haters peaked it a little, but I probably still won't see it.
Hey, let me ask you a question. I know how much you hate DC films and how much you're not interested in Power Ranger movies. If you had a choice to see the next DC film or Power Rangers, which one do you think you would enjoy more?
Damn, that's torture. Probably DC film.
Really? I figured you'd go with Power Rangers because their suits kind of look like Iron Man.
No. I think they look like, no. I'd suffer through DC.
I think they're going for the they're trying to make more of a serious film, but they're going to embrace, kind of wink at themselves a little bit. And I think bringing Bill Hader, bringing the comedian in as the Alpha 5 character kind of fits with then the structure of the show very, very well. And the fact that they're choosing that to bring kind of the comedic element, I'm excited. I'm excited for this movie. I have been since they announced it. I've been not shy about it at all. And Power Rangers Club, 5th grade, Sutter Park, Max and I. Yeah, we're gonna.
I feel like you don't need to bring it up every time.
I'm just gonna show this picture of Max every time he talks, since he's not actually.
No, because he's not actually in it. No,
that's his flag car.
I'm here though. Dude, you can't treat me like Philip. I'm still here. I'm just not using my picture, so there's a better connection.
Well, that's a good picture of you.
Whatever. Eat a dick.
Dude, look at my ears in that photo. They're like calling for space marines to come.
You look like Yoda. You look like a white Yoda in that picture.
I do look like a white Yoda. All right, anyway, done with that stroll down memory.
That's not fair, dude. I'm here. You can't treat me like Philip.
Here's a rumor that is probably true because the movie made $1 billion. Jurassic World sequel reportedly is getting a $260 million budget. Max, you were the biggest fan out of all of us of Jurassic World, so your thoughts on this news/rumor?
Hardy fucking hard. No, I mean, again, I want, if they're gonna call it Jurassic World, I want it to be like Big Park is, we fucked up, we shouldn't have done this. So now I want it to be on a global scale. I mean, I don't know how it is that they got away with just like just making the same movie, and everyone ate it right up. So like I want the Velociraptors, the Raptor Pack to be loose. Freaking God, how come I can never remember his name? Star-Lord, freaking what's his name?
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt. Fucking that guy's out there motorcycling it up with the Raptor Pack, but like in the freaking dystopia, it should be like Mad Max and Jurassic Park had a baby. Like that's what I want. And if it takes $260 million to get that, then so be it. But if they're gonna make another freaking Jurassic Park movie where they're just stuck in the stupid park that they shouldn't make, like if this is actually real, the UN would just bomb them whenever they raise their fucking ugly head. They're like, "Oh, you got another Jurassic Park? Everyone, get out of there because we're going to bomb it." So I hope they make a different movie. Is all I want. So if that's how much money it takes, then awesome.
We're gonna get militarized dinosaurs, I'm sure. Mike, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with Max on this. It's like, cool, you got the bigger budget. I get why Jurassic World was essentially the Jurassic Park reboot, as it were, because if you want to get the new generations behind this property again, yeah, show them what worked with the first movie. But now that you've done that, have fun. Spend that money well. Yeah, give us what Max was saying. I like the thing of Fury Road mixed in with dinosaurs, essentially. Give me the Dino Riders live action movie I've been wanting since I was like 4. Here's what would sell me on it too. If you brought Sam Jackson back as his character from the first movie with one arm missing and saying like, the Raptors didn't kill me, motherfuckers, and he's like riding a T-Rex, like Nick Fury him into Jurassic Park. Make him the Nick Fury of Jurassic Park, where he's like, we'll bring back all the All-Stars. Jeff Goldblum will be there as your science advisor. Bring back Chris Pratt as kind of taking charge of this new ragtag team of people trying to contain all the weirdness that's happening. Bring back Sam Neill to, heck, resurrect the dude just to say clever girl again. You have enough money. It doesn't matter. It's like you can make it happen. Oh, wait, he's dead. He's dead in real life, isn't he?
Oh.
Shit. Get someone who looks like that dude to say clever girl.
Or get a hologram.
There you go. But yeah, for the amount of money they're getting,
if the Furious guy is dead, they're still talking about him being in the next one.
They can CG that dude in there, no problem.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I like what you said, man. It's like for the amount of money they're getting to make the sequel, it better not just be another wandering around through the park type thing. It, like, really raise the stakes beyond one island. Phil.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I think it's going to be an epic flop. And then they're going to regret the fact that they agreed to do a trilogy. It'll be interesting to see if they actually stick to their guns. Because I think it's going to be too much money, and I don't think they're going to... I agree with you all. They need to up the stakes, but I don't think they know how. I don't think they know how to make that movie. So I think it's just going to be epically horrible. I mean, I guess there are a handful of movies that did cost a shit ton and actually came out good, but we'll see. I have zero faith. I ended up watching Jurassic World after it was in theaters. It was okay. Wasn't anything to write home with. I agree with Max and Mike. It wasn't worth the hullabaloo, which is going to be interesting because I really think people will be bored and be like, oh, okay. All right, whatever. Maybe they'll throw Godzilla in it. There you go. That's how you up it.
They're already doing that
with dinosaurs. Rondell?
Ye of little faith. They're going to build and build and build, and before you know it, there's going to be a raptor on Mars with Matt Damon. I don't know. If they bring Samuel Jackson back, I agree. I'll go see it just for that. That's all I would need.
Well, they had to up the budget because Jurassic World 2 is going to be Jurassic Planet. And then they're going to go to space. And they're going to take over a globe. Dan's not here today, so I'm going to pitch a movie. They're going to find their own planet, and there's going to be dinosaurs. And like Max said, Jeff Goldblum, because he's still up there from Independence Day, re-shits. And all this fun stuff is going to happen. just on another planet.
All that's going to tie back. What was the movie with the giant? What's the movie where they come up out of the ocean and we've had these robots?
Rim.
Yeah,
Pacific Rim.
It's going to tie back to that. There you go.
No, dude, it's gonna be Independence Day mixed with Jurassic Park, but now we have the dinosaurs to fight the aliens, and we fit the dinosaurs.
I would
with
go
the
watch
alien
that movie.
technology.
I'd watch that movie too. You got something there, Max. Get on the horn with Roland Emmerich and tell him that you're writing the script. And as far as Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum coming back together, they're going to be in the new Thor movie together, which takes me to my the next topic, which is Sam Neill has just joined the cast of Thor Ragnarok. And there was a very disturbing meme on the internet when this was announced of Jeff Goldblum laying shirtless. I think it's from Jurassic Park 1. And on it is Sam Neill, like cuddled on his chest. It's really funny. And saying, you know, Sam Neill is joining Thor. Mike, your thoughts on this news and the image that probably just ruined your night?
I haven't seen the image. I know which frame you're talking about from Jurassic Park, but that cool, man. They didn't say who he was playing though, right? That's
No.
a big. Here's what I would want him to play. It's probably not going to happen because I'm not really sure what the character's status is with regards to which studios rightfully own him, but the Watcher. Like, I feel he could be a good Watcher. I know everyone's like, Stan Lee's the Watcher, fuck you, because he shows up in all the Marvel movies. But I'm like, nah, if you want an actual, like, Watcher that could kind of look the part, shave that dude's head, CGI his head to be a little bit bigger and put him in his Greek toga, whatever he wears. Oh, thanks.
There you guys go.
But yeah, like I'll be happy either way. I hope it's a good movie. That's all I'm hoping. But yeah, if anything, that's what I could see him playing, the Watcher, but probably not. Max?
No, that's awesome. Sam Neill's in Thor. They're kind of stacking this deck. They got a lot of good people, and that's so sexy. I really that gets my mojo working. I can't wait to see this Thor movie. Yeah, that's all I really got. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, I'm excited. That makes me happy, and I want to see the new Thor movie. Mike, how do you feel?
Well, I'll go because you actually mean me, Max.
Yeah, Philip.
No problem. I got your back, Max.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm indifferent. But like, I do love that picture though. That's an awesome picture. That should be what they do for the dinosaur, the next Jurassic World, is make Jeff Goldblum giant, the same size as the dinosaurs, as he tries to like talk to the dinosaurs and actually get them to agree that chaos is okay. We've
crossed the cells of the T-Rex with the cells of Jeff Goldblum, and now we have this.
Be prepared to be bored.
Fly to a dinosaur.
but yeah, I mean, I'm definitely interested for Thor Ragnarok, but I won't say that either of them is the reason why they've sold me on it. I'm more kind of curious to see where they go with it, and I want to see if they have a more sentient, I don't know if sentient is the right word, but a more intelligent Hulk. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. We shall see. Rondo?
It's Thor, it's Marvel. I don't need Sam Neill. I'm going to go see it.
I'm right there with you right now.
Yes, we got people on the chat. They were requesting a photo. That's why I went and found it. Apparently, Ryan loves himself some shirtless Jeff Goldblum. Fuzzy, I can't help you. And then Lexus says hi to us. So hi back. And yeah, I love this live chat thing, man. This is awesome. Yeah, keep chatting with us, people. We are chatting back. And I will show you the photos. Just ask. But here, one more time for the people that are watching. There's Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill, happy to be back together again. God, that's just kind of reminds me of Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Exactly, but it's Jeff Goldblum.
I mean, he's got a shirt on. It's just open, exposing his raw, manly chest. But he's not shirtless.
Okay, yes.
That's a misnomer.
That's true.
And to be fair, he almost had his leg chewed off by a T-Rex in that scene, I think. So I think he's entitled to a little shirtlessness.
It's in his contract. There is going to be a Dark Tower television series, and it looks like the cast from the films are going to be in the television series. And Idris Elba is the first one to be confirmed as appearing in the movie and the TV show. Max, your thoughts?
I'm loving this. I'm a huge Dark Tower fan. I'm really excited about them finally getting it on screen. I'm interested to see what they do, because this can either be, one of the greatest things ever done, or is just going to be absolutely absurd. And I'm interested to see what they do with the end, because Stephen King is notorious for being able to finish anything. So you always kind of have to take a liberty with the the end of the whatever you're trying to adapt. So there's that. I like that everybody's on board to do the whole thing across the board. That makes a lot of sense to me. This is. I mean, I've been wondering why DC and Marvel haven't been doing something like this. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm excited. I like it a lot. Philip, how do you feel about it?
So I'm actually intrigued more just because I'm surprised that they were able to. I don't know. I'm curious. That's all. I guess all I'm saying is because when I read that they're going to combine universes, I agree, Max, that I'm surprised that no one's done it. But I mean, I think DC's no, they were going to do it, and then they're like, nah, better not. Because to me, I think Marvel has the most likelihood with the Netflix series that they could do that crossover, and especially because it's not the same characters. That's what I'm kind of curious about. But I don't know enough about the Dark Tower to know, is there enough material that they could actually tell an independent television series where you weave those characters in and out of the show, which would be really, really cool. It would be, oh my God, intricately complicated to deal with, but that would be a really cool thing. And the other thing would be, how do you sell somebody that's only going to watch the movies or only going to watch the TV series on keeping up with both? So I'll be kind of curious to see what they do with that. It definitely sounds intriguing. I will say that it's really interesting. Mike?
Yeah, I'm not as into the Dark Tower as probably a lot of other people are, but I like Idris Elba, so definitely this sounds awesome. And yeah, I am curious to see what you were mentioning, Philip, like what kind of stories they're going to be telling for each medium and how to kind of lock them together across the platforms of movies and TV. It will be kind of interesting to see how that translates over, because as far as I know, even though, yeah, like you mentioned the Marvel stuff and kind of how that's all in its own universe and everything, but they rarely, outside of references really cross over. Here, where it's going to be a narrative that actually is going to be carrying over from a film to a series, I don't know, that really is interesting to me that they're purposefully doing that on the onset, because I know there have been films that later on they're like, man, well, we're not going to be doing a sequel to the movies, let's do a TV show instead. Like they did that with Stargate. They were originally going to have like a trilogy of Stargate movies, but then they're like, you know what, the first movie didn't do so well, sci-fi's got an availability for us, let's just do TV shows with the ideas that we were going to carry over to the other films. And I know that's what they intend to do to wrap up their the Divergent movies, because those haven't been making as much money as Lionsgate wanted them to, I think. So they're just going to let the last movie that they were going to have be a TV miniseries or something. So it's interesting that there's a property that's initially on the outset saying, nope, we got this all covered, TV and movies. So I'm curious, definitely.
I think it really depends on what what they're trying to show, like how many movies they're trying to make. If they're using the movies to be like each individual book, then the TV series could be some of the like short stories and things that Stephen King has written in between that happen kind of as you go along. There's plenty of stuff about that. So they do have actually like a pretty deep, well to pull from.
Well, because that Dark Tower crosses over. There are characters that cross over from stuff like The Stand and everything like that, right? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow, interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, because actually, like the Dark Tower, Stephen King's created works and unites them in the same kind of universe. Like it's really weird, which is why I'm very interested to see what they're doing with it.
Interesting.
Because yeah, Stephen King actually exists in his own. Like he wrote himself into the story. Like yeah, it's weird. It's he tries to get really meta with it.
Nice. I like it.
But yeah, that's a Dark Tower. That's all I got.
Rondell?
Well, up until Max's comment, I was pretty much going to unzip myself and exit my bubble and say, what the hell is Dark Tower? But just the mere mention of Stephen King now has me intrigued.
Rondell, please don't unzip anything while you're sitting next to me in my basement. Can we just keep everything zipped up? Damn it, Max, don't make him want to zip or unzip.
Hey man, I had nothing to do with that. I told no one to unzip anything.
All right, Rondell, sorry.
No, that's all I have to say. I'm now intrigued by the whole Stephen King reference. So.
All right, I'm going to attempt an impression because one of our comments in the chat board sent it in. There we go. All right. I am the man in black. All right, I'll be there. Oh, yeah. That was my impression of Matthew McConaughey. I did some work. But thank you, Fuzzy, for the line. It was good. But I am intrigued. So this is what was pitched to J.J. Abrams when he rebooted Star Trek, was to come on, make a Star Trek film, and then we'll do a television series in between the films and see where we go. I think this is a great idea. You make a movie and then you let it run on television for a few years. You keep the interest. Hopefully the story writing is good. And then you do another, when the next big chunk of story that you need maybe a bigger budget for comes up, you go into the movie. This is a very intriguing way to tell a story, and I can't wait to see how they pull it off. I'm with you guys. I'm optimistic. And last story is Star Trek was pushed off. It is no longer coming out in January. It is now coming out in May 2017. This is CBS's push. Now, while I'm somebody who enjoys some of CBS's programming, a lot of the younger crowd does not. So this is kind of CBS's way to get people interested in their new streaming app that they have coming out. They're going to charge $6 a month. But if I know people the way I do, they're going to get it, watch Star Trek, and then ditch it. But, the extra month. Mike, what do you think of them pushing it back a little bit?
Okay, whatever they got to do, they got to do. I'm not really too jazzed about this show. I don't know anything really about it so much aside from like it's just going to be about another ship essentially, and kind of set before the adventures of the Enterprise a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I'm one of those people who I'm probably going to see the premiere when it's on the actual network, and then based off of that, we'll see if I buy into the CBS All Access stuff or not. But most likely not. But I don't know, Phil.
Yeah, to me this doesn't sell me on it. I don't really get it. I could get it if they were going to include like sci-fi in the package, and this was going to be on sci-fi, and this is a way that you could get that out to people. That makes sense to me. So I don't get why they're saying that this is their way to sell it. But I'm kind of with you, Mike. I'll watch it on TV. I don't necessarily that it's going to make me, I want to go subscribe to your app now.
They're only going to have the first episode on TV. The rest of them you can only watch on the app.
Oh.
Well, hopefully based on hopefully based on the pilot, we'll be able to determine like, nah, that's not worth an all access pass, or hey, maybe I'll give it a try. Interesting.
That actually is I want to look up some more rules on that because I'm kind of curious as to how they can actually qualify as a national broadcasting channel and still get the ad revenue that they do. But anyways, that's a side question. But so that's interesting. Okay, I mean, I guess maybe that's going to sell people. I agree with you. I think pushing it from January to May makes more sense now with that in mind, because they need to try and make sure they have all eyes on it, because otherwise their all access streaming thing could flop horribly. I need to look that up so I can talk about more about it next time on the cast, because I still have interesting questions as to their benefits that they're looking at, because unless it's going to be unique only content that's produced there, I don't get what their advantage is. And am I paying $6 a month for commercials? Anyways, Rondell?
No interest by me. It's Star Trek. It's a show. I mean, I'm loving the new movies, but much like Next Generation and the rest of them, I wasn't really a big fan. So just having it all streaming on CBS, I'm not going to buy into another service just to watch. So, nope, you don't get me.
I'll go last. Max, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool when at the end of it, the big like M Night Shyamalan twist is that it is the last remaining player of No Man's Sky's Twitch feed the whole time. And he's just
The universe restarts itself.
Yeah, yep. And yeah, so I'm tentative. I guess I'll watch the free episode on TV and see how I feel about it. I'm probably not going to buy this service because I have Netflix and you know, like that's really the only one I pay for, and I don't even necessarily want that one. And it's yeah, like if Netflix didn't have the Marvel shows, then I don't know, you know, if I would keep it. But yeah, I mean, if they can make a Star Trek as good as the Marvel shows, we'll see how that goes.
Where I really feel this is like CBS trying to have its cake and eat it too, to kind of say like, hey, we're still a relevant thing as a mainstream television channel, but we understand all of you are getting really into the Netflix original stuff, and you know that studios and ideas are flocking more over to that, you know, web exclusive or online exclusive content. But they're still trying to say like, no, come still check us out over here. We're still over here. We're not just JAG anymore. And then, you know, slowly but surely win us over into a new platform. But yeah, it's a gamble, but we'll see if it pays off.
Yeah, the show is being done by Brian Fuller, who got his start on Deep Space Nine and Voyager, and he has made some very popular cult shows with Wonder Falls, Dead Like Me, Pushing Daisies, and then more recently Hannibal. So I am very excited to see this guy's take on Star Trek, because I'm a big fan of Hannibal and I was a big fan of Dead Like Me. The guy's got a very unique take on television, and I would like to see how he takes this into the Star Trek universe. And the way I mean, come on, you wait till they've aired all the episodes and then you get the free trial, watch them all in 2 days, and then drop CBS streaming service. Don't pay for it. That's silly. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this show. I want a good Star Trek show, especially with the technology we have today, to see what Star Trek can look like on television, done by somebody who is competent enough to run a television series. You've got my views. I cannot wait until May to see this show. And from what I've heard, the extension is just so that they can spend the proper time on the special effects and the story. So yeah, definitely worth the wait. Anybody have anything else to add?
So I did look it up. $6 is limited commercials. $10 is no commercials. It is CBS's backlog, not a very great backlog. JAG, as you so eloquently mentioned, Mike. MacGyver, for anyone who really misses that show. Big Bang Theory. I mean, the more modern shows, really. And then their other exclusive is going to be the Good Wife spinoff and a Big Brother exclusive show. So I don't see any of this selling this package. I don't get what they're going with. Yeah.
Big Brother's still on?
Dude,
Yes.
I'm thinking about trying to get on Big Brother.
You should get on Big Brother, Max.
I'm thinking about it. I really am thinking about like sending in a tape or a video or whatever, however you do that shit now. I mean, why not, man? I can if I can put up with the annoying people I that deal with in my life, I can definitely put up with these motherfuckers on Big Brother.
That's true. When you work buy, sell, and trade retail, you do deal with a lot of stupid motherfuckers. But Fuzzy, it's a date, buddy. CBS app, I will get it. You come over, we'll grab some beers, and we will watch Star Trek together. It sounds like a wonderful plan.
Fuzzy, I read that script, and I've got a few suggestions for changes, but we should get started on this trailer. just to let you know.
Awesome. That is all the news stories I have, but we forgot one thing, which is to tell you that tonight's podcast is and was brought to you by Audible.com. Go to audibletrial.com/3geeks for all of your audiobook needs. They have over 180,000 titles to choose from, which Dan so kindly reminded me of last week. You can listen to Stephen King's It, read to you by Steven Weber, and that will take up 48 hours of your life. Or in my case, 20, because I am not through it yet. But it is a lot of fun. Check out Audible. Whether you like to read or if you're lazy like I am and don't really have time to pick up a book because you're doing a lot of running around or working retail, just pop in an earbud or let it play by your cash register and listen to Audible.com because they will read it for you. Guys, the Marvel Cinematic Universe started with Iron Man and continued into the Incredible Hulk. Iron Man is still considered to many to be the best film of the Marvel Universe to this day. And it started it all. I mean, it changed the landscape for superhero movies moving forward. Max, take us into this a little bit. What were your thoughts when you first saw Iron Man on the big screen?
Iron Man, this is the return of Robert Downey Jr. pretty much. We didn't know which Robert Downey Jr. we were going to get, and we were like, well, this is his last opportunity to do anything. And Jon Favreau is back. I really like that. And it was just because that summer Batman Begins came out too, didn't it?
No, yes. That was Dark Knight.
Dark Knight, yeah.
Oh, Dark Knight, even better. So yeah, freaking Iron Man comes out, then the Hulk. Iron Man was a home run. The Hulk was a solid movie. The Dark Knight. Yeah, that was a summer to remember. No, but Iron Man, if we're just starting talking about the one thing, really great movie. Much better than you thought it was going to be. The first time you got to see the suit in action, you didn't know how they're going to do it, and they just well, and it was a really fun movie to watch. And even though you spend 45 minutes in basically Tony Stark's garage, it doesn't it doesn't suck. I liked it a lot, and I thought it was just a definite the right step forward for Marvel to get into these into the cinematic universe, and it just obviously opened up the whole can of worms because here we are, movies, 35 comic book movies a year, and loving every second of it. Philip, how about you in the summer of awesome?
Yeah, I remember watching all of those, but I remember the Nick Fury introduction kind of sticking with me and kind of making me go, what the hell is going on? And kind of being curious. And then I definitely thought Iron Man was really good, but I actually I really appreciated The Incredible Hulk for what it was, which was a different movie. I remember when they had made the Hulk many years ago, and it was mediocre at best. And I really liked where they were going with it. They never got, I think, the chance to go where I think Edward Norton was hoping to take it, but that's okay. And I really enjoyed that, and I remember watching both those movies and then wondering what the fuck is going on when they bring Robert Downey Jr. at the end of this movie, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, why is he meeting this guy? And so it was really interesting because at that point there was nothing. I mean, nothing had ever been like that as far as the origin stories. They were both. Well, actually, The Incredible Hulk really wasn't an origin story. It was just kind of a tale, which I thought was really well done. Instead of doing because they did one origin story in Iron Man, which I felt you needed. It kind of gives you that grounding moment. And I kind of love how cocky and arrogant Robert Downey Jr. was. And yeah, I definitely think like the world building was what blew me away the most with those movies. Mike?
Yeah, so when I first heard about Iron Man coming to the big screen, and I realized like Robert Downey Jr. Is perfect for this, because I was already on Robert Downey Jr.'s side for a comeback, because a couple years before he did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which it's one of my favorite movies ever. So
fucking awesome.
yeah, so I was really pulling for him to make a franchise for himself, and I feel they did really pick the right guy for it. And even then, yeah, sure, it was kind of a gamble and stuff. There was talks of like, oh, can we insure Robert Downey Jr.? But he was able to spin that and turn that into, basically he gets to play himself in these movies, and it works. It's like, dude, if you can have a job where you just get to play kind of yourself and get paid for it, awesome. But what I liked about the movie is at that point too, we'd had a lot of our franchises at that point had become either really, really bloated or really, really dark. Like I argue, like, think what you will of Les Stan, but it got really bleak in that last X-Men movie at that time. Spider-Man 3 was just the year before, and that didn't go over well at all. And we needed something fresh and new. And Iron Man at that point had always been kind of a level 2 type of hero. So it was a risk to even like expand not just the whole Iron Man mythology, but a whole universe around this one movie. And that was really cool. And I really enjoy Incredible Hulk as well. Ang Lee's Hulk is not a good movie in the long run, I don't think. I understand what it's trying to accomplish. I understand what he's trying to say in the movie. It's way too slow, and it's way too self-serious for a Hulk movie, I feel. I mean, yeah, sure, with Hulk you have that inner torment and battling the monster within metaphor, but you know what? He gets to punch a monster or two as well, and I'm glad they got to finally do that in The Incredible Hulk. And yeah, I would have been interested to see where they gone with it had Norton stayed on, but for what we got in the later years with Ruffalo, it's fine. And I really didn't, aside from they just don't look anything like each other, I really didn't notice that dramatic a shift. Like, I can still buy that Incredible Hulk exists within the Marvel universe or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And yeah, what Phil was mentioning with finally crossing over characters and Tony Stark showing up at the end, which that scene finally had payoff this past summer when Thunderbolt Ross showed up to lecture the Avengers in Civil War. Like, it was cool to kind of have that symmetry going as well. It's like Robert Downey Jr. at first is telling him what's what with this new world of superheroes, and now Ross is coming back to say to Tony Stark, like, yeah, here's the world of superheroes, but here's how we're going to run it, essentially checking each other. That was really kind of cool. And yeah, I still enjoy both movies immensely.
No giant poodles, I'd say, was a step up from the other Hulk movie.
Dude, yeah, I'll take enhanced Tim Roth over giant poodles any day.
Rondell.
Both movies I enjoyed. I will say, of course, Iron Man as being a childhood favorite of mine. Finally seeing that made into a movie, which was surprising to me at the time. But I truly enjoyed it, and that was basically a game changer for me, as well as, I mean, rest of the superhero movies to come afterwards. I mean, Marvel, pretty much from that moment, has been basically it. I enjoyed it. As far as Incredible Hulk, I did enjoy Edward Norton, and was a little disappointed not to see more come of that. But much like Mike said, I enjoy Mark Ruffalo. It's blended in nicely. I don't now look back and say, oh, well, there should have been another Hulk movie. I mean, it's worked. So I enjoy both, but Iron Man really, that, like I said, that set the tone for everything, and I loved it. I've been enamored ever since.
Yeah, I was late to Iron Man 1. I saw it after I saw The Incredible Hulk, but I remember me and my friends Tam and Amit, we used to have this pact for every time a superhero movie would come out three of us went to see it every time. And, you know, you always left the theater trying to kid yourself into liking it. Like, oh, that Fantastic Four movie by Tim Story was awesome, wasn't it? Yeah, that rubber suit was great. Oh, my God, Superman Returns. Yay, keep lifting more shit. That's awesome. Don't actually fight anybody. And, you know, X-Men Last Stand was another one. Yeah, it kind of was okay. And then, you know, we watched the special effect version of Wolverine Origins. Like, yeah, that was good, right? That's the best we're gonna get ever, right? And then
it was better without the special effects.
It was a lot better without the special effects. But then Iron Man comes out, and you saw what one of these movies really could be. And it wasn't just a great story, which, you know, the story about the making of this movie, the fact that they didn't have a completed script and a lot of the dialogue is ad-libbed by Tony Stark, Jeff Bridges, and Jon Favreau a lot. And I think that's pretty impressive that it turned out to be this well done. And the acting, like, you get Robert Downey Jr. is an Oscar caliber actor. He really is. And to bring that kind of talent, I know he's playing a version of himself, but just you could tell when somebody is that talented stepping into a role, and this was the start of it. And Robert Downey Jr. is the first actor to really embrace playing this role. Like, he keeps coming back for more and more movies, even if he's not the star of the movie. Like, he's popping up in Spider-Man, he's popping up in Captain America, he popped up in The Incredible Hulk. And it all started with this because he knows what he owes Marvel. Marvel, and especially Jon Favreau, took a huge chance with him. He was not insurable. They couldn't get an insurance policy on him. They took a big risk, and it paid off. And I think Robert Downey Jr. is just as grateful as Marvel that it worked out. And then The Incredible Hulk is still in my top 5 of the Marvel movies. I really like it. Edward Norton is one of my favorite actors, and I was extremely disappointed when I found out he wasn't coming back for the Avengers. I was, you know, that guy, I should sign a petition. I want Edward Norton back in the Avengers movie. What the hell? And then, you know, you go see the Avengers movie, and as much as I love Edward Norton, I don't want anybody else playing the Incredible Hulk than Mark Ruffalo. That guy took that role to another level that, you know, started with Edward Norton and had never been done before. With all due respect to Lou Ferrigno, it's just so well done. And like Philip said, you got that tease at the end. I mean, the first of something Marvel would come to define Marvel, which is the post-credit scenes. You get that first one with Samuel L. Jackson showing up about the Avengers Initiative, and then at the end of The Incredible Hulk, you get Tony Stark talking to Thunderbolt. It was a start of something very, very great. And something about both of these movies, they both had major recasting afterwards. We had Terrence Howard replaced with Don Cheadle, which I think is a better fit, personally. And then, you know, the Edward Norton, Mark Ruffalo recasting, which I also think turned out to be better for Marvel in the long run. So kudos to Marvel, because they really changed the game. And ever since the Avengers came out, which is the culmination, and we will get there, every studio in Hollywood is trying to copy this formula. DC is trying to do it. The G.I. Joe people are trying to do it. The Transformers people are trying to do that. The Barbie people are trying to do that. The Fast and Furious people are trying to do that. Like, it's crazy. Like, Marvel's even copying themselves with their Netflix series. The Daredevil, Iron Man.
But Marvel is still the only one, and I'd say with the exception of the Fast and the Furious, maybe, Marvel's the only one that does it right. It's like, we're just going to do one at a time, and then every now and again we'll have the big ensemble movie. But, you know, until then, we're going to make 5, 6, 7 single movies, cash in on all of those, and then, you know, double cash in on the big one. But like, everyone else seems to just want to make the big movie without doing the time for all the little ones, even though that will make you $1 billion. They've shown you this.
Yeah, but see, Marvel doesn't even miss a beat. Like, you know, Iron Man 2 comes out, which we're going to get to next week, to not as great reception, but it didn't stop them from coming out with the next film. Captain America didn't do as great as Iron Man 2, but did it slow them down? No. They kept going because they had a plan, and they stuck to their plan. No matter what the outcome of the movie was, no matter what the critics thought, no matter what the box office was, Marvel stuck to their that entire.
But they never lost money on any of the movies. Like,
No.
they weren't like crushing the movies, like crushing the box office out of the fences or anything like that. But they were always making money, and they made the movie. And this might be the Ike Perlmutter, influence. Like, they didn't, they spent enough money to make a good movie, and then worked within their budget to make it as best as they could.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like the studios now that are trying to emulate Marvel, they're, like you said, they're going for that big movie. So they want to put all of the money in the world into this movie, and then when it doesn't deliver, it totally ruins their plans. When, like you said, Marvel started off simple, low budgets, fun films. And even when Ant-Man came out, in the middle of Marvel's crazy budgets now, they still made Ant-Man for the small budget like they would have during their Phase 1 films. And just a lot of respect to that studio. They've handled everything, I think, 100%. And I can't wait. Next week, we're going to be discussing Iron Man 2 and Thor. And I can't wait to talk about Marvel for the next, 7 weeks, because there's 14 films. So this should be a lot of fun. Anybody have anything else to add? All right, that is our show tonight. Go to youtube.com/MikeMcGTV. Check out all the fun stuff Mike has going on his channel. They did a tour of the Chat Cave recently. Him and Dan did. What did you and Dan do recently? What movie?
We in my effort to try and find a movie that'll break Dan's spirits, we talked about movie this year that came out called The Veil. It's on Netflix. It stars Jessica Alba, and speaking of Marvel, Thomas Jane as this preacher cult leader. It's basically like the Jonestown Massacre meets Flatliners, and we got to talking about that, but then we kind of just started wandering all over the place talking about other movies, talking about Malcolm McDowell at one point. And yeah, it's just fun to kind of just shoot the shit about anything and everything, have like a starting point, and then kind of meander into other topics. But yeah, check out that latest McChats. And like I said, hopefully in the upcoming month we'll get more stuff, a remake Revolution. I'll finally get around to vlogging Yoga Hosers probably right after this. So we'll see.
I can't wait to see that movie. I've heard really bad things about it, but I am mildly optimistic.
You can wait to
It's
see
up
this
for
movie.
download somewhere now.
It's on Flick. I saw it on Flix Fling.
Okay.
I got a subscription and rented it on Flix Fling. So
All right, I'll check that out for sure. Oh, the one TV show I did want to mention, Lethal Weapon. The pilot, don't watch it. It sucks. The chemistry between the characters sucks. I love Damon Wayans. He sucks as Murtaugh. He is no Danny Glover. That should never have been made for Fox. If they wanted to tackle a Lethal Weapon television show, maybe HBO, but don't watch it. I watched 5 minutes of it, and I was bored. So don't watch it. It sucks. It's not a good show. Watch Lethal Weapon 1 because it's essentially what it is without all the parts of Lethal Weapon that you enjoy. So that's...
Yeah, I mean, how are they going to put like a coked out, strung out, hyper PTSD depressed cop on like Fox television? Like the guy that Mel Gibson was in Lethal Weapon 1, you can't put that on regular TV.
He just seemed too happy to be Riggs. Like, miscasting all over the place. I mean, like I said, Damon Wayans maybe could pull off Murtaugh, but when he's working around, the movie doesn't fit. The tones are all over the place. Like I said, I only watched 5 or 6 minutes of it, so you can take my opinion or not, but it sucks.
But like, the impression that you get from Murtaugh in the first movie, and like even any of the other ones, is he's fucking tired. You know, like he's just so tired. Slow down and be over. And
he's too old for this shit.
Yeah. Damon Wayans just doesn't. He has too much energy. You don't get the feeling like he's tired.
No, and he doesn't look old either. Like, he looks young. He looks like he just joined the force. What?
I said black don't crack.
All right, and like I said, check out our buddy Arcmatter, ARCMATTER on YouTube. Check out Never Ending Radical Dude on YouTube. They have some really funny videos. Definitely check out Nerd 30. My name is Jason, joined by Rondell, Philip, Mike, and Max. Dan, I hope you enjoyed your wrestling, buddy. Have a great night. Bye.